a program like that, like an alternative program like community service, actually they may feel really good about themselves, knowing that, because I believe they're capable. I believe they're capable. I believe that there's no reason to think that they're not capable of, working in our parks or something like that. I've actually expressed that before, that we that's what we need, is we need people to understand that they're capable of doing more. And so, gosh, I wish we could do something like
And Mayor,
that.
I will say, when we do sentencings, because what you're talking about is like if we go to a sentencing, when we can tell, whenever someone's homeless, I can't send discovery, we all know it. And so that is something that we always suggest. It's something that the judge, even when he's doing sentencing, will tell them, like, if you cannot afford these fines, we can do a payment plan, or if you can't do a payment plan, we can also do community service. And you just have to, it's a paper, the court has community services that, are kind of like sanctioned, or not sanctioned, but like programs that they know of, and they can, say that these are ones that people have done in the past. They can go to the animal shelter, different things. Or they can go to so I've had several people that go to some of the churches, and the pastors will just sign off, and they've done the community service.
We take people.
It is something that we do. It is a standard practice in the prosecution. And so I just wanted to make you all aware that there is that program. The judge will do a fine, will set the fine, but that's because we have to have a way to track it, right? And then as you earn,
so it's based on the hours.
Service, yes,
right.
We start deducting.
How many people actually take you up on that? What do you think?
I would have to ask the judge or the courts to.
I mean, do you think you see it a lot, or?
I don't know, because once they're sentenced, like, I don't really have much to do with it unless I get a failure to pay. But then I always tell them, like, do community service, like, that's what I'm gonna recommend. I've been in there and I've had people I've seen people come in with their sheets and stuff like that, but I really couldn't give you the dinner process.
That's a comment on that. Been in the industry on this, kind of along with Mayor Pro Tem McDonald with the fines and even the community service, it doesn't work. That's just added it up, $20 an hour, $500 fine, that's 25 hours of community service. They'll go work an hour or two, and they won't be able to find them. They don't show up, then they get a failure to appear, failure to pay, and they're in the system, and it's just a revolving door. It doesn't, it works for some people, but it doesn't work for others. But on this, it seems like we've got quite a bit of discussion, and it seems like there's quite a few people in the, that there's quite a few people that wanted to make comments or contributions to the ordinance. I, for one, have an issue with the private property and the city being able to tell somebody to leave private property. We don't have that authority, really. And I would like to just table this.
Can I make a comment? Just real quick.
Hang on, just say all of them. And then that would give the public time. We bring it back in 30 days, 100% Otero people, and this, I'm not sure what your name is, but they can get their comments together and bring them back to us, and let's retweak it to where it works for everybody. That's kind of how I wanted to look at it. That was the main issue I had, was the current ordinance we have on the books, addresses camping on the right of way, and it's illegal, and if they're causing a problem, then let's remove them. But on the private property, the city really needs to be careful with that, because what if we go in to remove them and injure them, and then we're involved in a lawsuit or something along those lines,
So you don't think that if they're in like the two gentlemen that just left, or if they're in an abandoned house, which is technically private property?
It is, but it's, and I see their side.
That's a criminal offense.
That's a criminal, yes, as well.
That's
and
a
same thing
little bit different
with the parks. We already have ordinances. If they're camping in the park, they can be removed. And like I said, these guys' issue is difficult, because here in about another month or two, when it starts warming up, a lot of that's probably going to go away for about 8 or 9 months, and then it'll start again, September, October of this year. know, it's just the time of year, and we're getting a lot of the drifters through here because our climate's not as cold. So they come from other communities where it's colder, and they come here because it's warmer in the evenings. You can't tell me it's not warmer here than it is in Albuquerque.
No, it is. I
freezing
agree.
up there.
1000%, I agree.
You know, and I don't know the answer to it. I don't think any of us do. We just have to do the best we can.
Yeah,
I personally would like to call a question on this and make a motion to table it. And,
okay, but I have one more thing to say. I think that my frustration is that we still have no solutions, and we can have the public comment, and that's fine. But if our thought is, well, it'll warm up and then they'll go away, well, that's not really a solution. And so, because it'll get cold again and then they'll be back, and then it'll warm up and they'll go away. So I think, you know, as you talked about with the fines, and I understand what you're saying, I do, you're not wrong, you're right. But if we're gonna talk about overtaxing our jail, let's talk about overtaxing our public safety officials too. And even if it's just during the winter, we're still overtaxing and we're still putting them in harm's way. And I feel like we keep ignoring what was just said, and I would be devastated if, I keep going back to, is it Jonah Hernandez? Who showed up to a call for a trespass in Las Cruces and was met by a homeless man with a knife who killed him. And so he went to work that day and never came home. And all he did, and if you watch that video, all he said is, oh, are you the one that called? And the guy attacked him and killed him. And so as a result, we lost a law enforcement officer for nothing more than doing his job. And so, you know, that's fine, we can wait 30 days, but we need to come up with a solution, because if we lose a fireman, or if we lose another officer because we decided that someone else's life was more important than their life, and whether we're saying that or not, that's kind of what we're doing when we don't address the issue, then I gotta tell you, I'm gonna be pretty vocal about it. So that's fine. If you wanna table it 30 days, whatever you guys wanna do is fine with me, but we do need to be thinking about a solution in the next 30 days.
It just gives the public time to provide input.
And that's fine, I have no problem with that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Who are you gonna always have with you? Very compassionate, very spot on. But you're always gonna have this problem. And 100% Otero and their housing committee and several individuals in this community are working on it. It's difficult. There is no simple solution. Give the public another 30 days to do this. I would agree. There are compassionate people who are looking for help for the homeless. You guys got a thankless job. We realize that. And he's right, when it warms up, many of these people will go away. But in the meantime, let's not just criminalize them and not just put them in a situation where it's not gonna get any better. I would agree to go for 30 days to let citizenry have some more input. People are working on things. Some of you know they're working on this in Las Cruces, and they got something that's amenable to the city and to people. It's not an easy question. It's not. It's very, very difficult. But Commissioner, I would go along with you. Let's let the public have another 30 days for input. And after 30 days, if there's no solution, I would vote for this.
Okay.
It's a difficult thing. It's not simple.
I
It's
completely
not
agree.
simple. If you could solve it, it would have been solved a long time ago. What you can do is you can have some remediation. You can have something that you can help until the weather gets warmer. But the homeless is not gonna go away. You think it's just here? It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah, and I would say ours is relatively low compared
Yes.
to other places. Las Cruces is,
Yes.
yeah, there's a whole group that I follow,
Yeah.
in Las Cruces, and the pictures that I see are just, they're outrageous. And that's what several homeless
group is
shelters.
crackheads of Las
And the
Cruces.
pictures are just, you know, be glad we're in Alamogordo, that's all I can say. I don't have any problem tabling it for 30 days, but I'm fine with that. But I would hope we would all be thinking
Can I
of some
ask,
solution.
what does the comments look like? We have, I mean, this ordinance wasn't put together because we just felt like it. There's been a lot of, we pulled out of state ordinances and state ordinances. It's not something that was just thrown together. There is initiatives where you, like homeless shelters, you could, and there's other types of initiatives such as this one. So what do the comments look like? Do they come to you, or do you want, like, I don't know how this looks because we've been working on this for 2 years and it's only getting worse. And so I don't know, I completely feel compassionate for everything, but I also feel very frustrated because our fire and our police are dealing with this, and nobody's providing any solutions. They're just condemning us, and I don't know what those comments look like. I don't know how to incorporate a solution that fixes it for everybody.
Well, and my concern with the comments is that, if somebody comes and disagrees with somebody else, is someone gonna get angry? Because if they are, then it's pointless. We have to be able to listen, I understand that, one group may be more vocal than another, but it doesn't mean I don't get the phone calls and the text messages and, you know what I mean? And so we have to either listen to other people's point of view and respect it, or I'm not gonna sit here and listen to comments. It's one or the other. Either we're respectful of each other and understand that we have differences and differences of opinion when it comes to this, or it's just not gonna work. And I agree with you. This has been going on way too long, and you're right, it is getting much, much worse.
How about we just, on the next agenda, we put an item on here, basically just allowing the constituents that had an issue with it to come to the meeting and provide their input on the ordinance, and then we can take those comments, redraft or do whatever we need to do, and have it in 30 days. And that gives them opportunity. If they show up, cool. If they don't, then, hey, there was your opportunity. I don't know who it was, I wasn't at the meeting, but I have seen a lot on Facebook and some various people, talking about it. That they're concerned with it, the way I look at it is they're still human beings. They're out there, and they're down in their luck. Do we really wanna kick them while they're down and throw them in jail or fine them $500? That's kind of the way I see it.
I really like the community service idea, actually.
It's a good idea, but like I say, I don't know if it would work, because a lot of times they have mental health issues. They may show up for an hour and then you'll never be able to find them again, so. But that's how.
We can put an item on or a workshop or something.
Like a workshop or a
I think that's fair.
presentation. Cause, say we give them the opportunity to voice their concerns, if they show up and give us their concerns, then we can put those in the ordinance. If they don't, then we just pass it how it is.
Okay,
I just have one thing, real fast.
yes.
The only comments I have, the rebuttal I had from my constituents, people calling me, on this was pretty much the private property deal. I don't know if we can reword this to, we made 2 efforts to call people and they're not responsive, then we remove them, or something along that line. But just because they're on private property, you just need to have a little buffer zone there to be able to remove them.
Yeah,
That seems to be what I need to be talking about.
I think that's a fair comment too. So if we are unable to reach the property owner after certain attempts, then the ordinance kicks in.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
All right, so we're gonna table this?
Do we wanna table it at a time frame, or you want 30 days on there, or
30.
first meeting in November, or?
You can table it and then we can bring it back when,
Just bring it
after.
back when you're ready. Okay, let's have a motion, we table it.
Okay, but can we not forget about it?
We will.
Okay.
I just tabled it, that way staff needs 45 days to have
Okay.
it.
So I have a motion from Commissioner Roden to table, item 4. Do I have a second? A second from Commissioner Hadley. Can we put up the vote, please? Yes, and I just say. There we go. Okay, on the citizens. All right, motion passes 6-0. And we're gonna move on to item 5, which was also, pulled from the consent agenda. I'm not sure who pulled it. Was it you or Commissioner Burnett?
I had,
Okay, Commissioner Burnett.
I just, how did we not know we had a 10-inch reclaimed water line right there?
No, so we did know that there was a 10-inch, but the problem is back in 1996, the plans show that it was supposed to be 6 feet deep, and it was not. It was less than 3 foot. Not to mention, it was encased, connected to the footing, and also to the sidewall of the culvert box, so that bridge. So because it is a reclaimed water line, it's a big one. It basically covers the whole entire Oregon parks, all the way down to New Orleans. So if for some reason we fix this little tiny break and it breaks again, now we have bigger issues because now it's under the culvert box, which is the box that they're fixing on top of the asphalt that they're repaving on top of it. And you know, with our specs and everything saying that we can dig into the asphalt for 5 years once it's placed in, it's gonna cause a lot of issues if it was to break later down the line, or if it breaks on the north side, because we still haven't reached the north side yet. So my proposal was to basically change it to where it's going on the west side of the bridge completely, to where it's not touching the culvert box at all. And I spoke to a few of the utility maintenance crews. They all feel the same way, to where, you know, if it does break, it's easier for them to access it that way compared to breaking concrete under the box and trying to fix something that's encased.
This is currently under that bridge,
It's,
or is it inside of the?
it's all, it's, so the footing, the culvert box, all of it's connected with the same concrete. There's nothing separate. Everything's all combined into one. And it was not supposed to be built that way back in '96. So I'm trying to address this now. We saw it, how shallow it was from the bottom of the ditch. Because even if they go and try to clean the ditches out, and they get a skid steer, and they're like, they see the plan saying, oh, it's 6 feet deep from the bottom of the ditch, they should have an issue, but it's not. It's only like, it's about 2.5 feet. So
It used to be 6 foot deep until a former engineer went in and cleaned that ditch out and he excavated it way down.
yeah, so
They
the
did-
plans that I put on the agenda,
Okay.
it does show that the new line is supposed to be 6 feet deep, and it wasn't, so. I'm just trying to basically get this out of the culvert box area, so that way we don't have issues in the future, like I'm having issue now. I'm doing the same thing with other projects, so.
Being proactive, what a concept.
So there was a plan in there to show where it was.
Yeah, I put it as an image on the agenda, it should have been on, it's not on this side. It's not on my side, no.
No, I thought it because it was in my, folder, and that's exactly what it says, but there is.
See it with its ads, but our computer, that's slow.
Okay,
Is it on the agenda report?
yeah, this is. I put that as well as the, proposal on the quote. And I do wanna let you know that, in the bidding, there was a bid item that was number 23, which is allowance for, utility conflict. They, bid on $20,000 on that during the bidding process, because they did do some of the damage, but it's not all the way their fault. They said that they will put that full 20 into what they proposed, which was 63, so that's why I put 43,000 on the schedule, on the agenda itself.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve item 5?
So moved.
Motion from Mayor Pro Tem McDonald, do I have a second?
Second.
A second from Commissioner Robinson, can we put up the vote, please? Okay. Motion passes 6-0, and I just looked up and saw former Commissioner Jason Baldwin in the audience. Welcome. It's a little weird seeing you out there, but whatever. There's an empty seat here in case you're wondering. Sorry.
It's your old chair.
I know, right? It happens to be your, okay, fine. But welcome. I didn't see you. I'm sorry, but It's good to see you, Jason, thank you. All right, we're gonna move on to item 6. That was pulled from the consent agenda. Again, I don't know if it was Commissioner Burnett or Commissioner Ruth.
I just have just a couple of questions that the two gentlemen kind of answered the questions. There was just nothing on there saying that structurally wise that something was wrong. The report, so that's why I had questions.
Other than some foundation issues from the water leak, the interior was bad enough that I couldn't do a lot of that inspection. So from the inside, outside there was a water break that has led to foundation issues.
Yeah, the two gentlemen, they kind of.
Is there anybody trying to live in that house right now? See, I think that's some travesty, I'm sorry, but I think that's more inhumane than anything.
Somebody
I don't care if it is true.
living there or what?
Yeah, it's somebody, it was a family member. It's a family member that's living there and allowing others to be there. And there have been children there.
I'll just make a motion to approve item.
Thank you. I have a motion from Commissioner Burnett to approve item 6. Do I have a second? A second from Mayor Pro Tem McDonald. Can we put up the vote, please? And motion passes 6-0. Thank you. And item 7 was pulled from the consent agenda. Again, I don't know which one of you.
Excuse me?
Oh, okay. I had one person tell me to pull all of these, so.
Tapley Grant.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Commissioner Tapley.
Okay, so, I don't know, I'm gonna apologize. I tried to open this at my office, and couldn't open it, and I still cannot open it.
The recommendation?
Well,
The only thing we have is,
I just have a number.
that's it.
Yeah, this is the recommendation from the architect.
Yeah, that's all we have.
Yeah, there was only one bid, so I still haven't read a recommendation on that one, just because last time when I had the other kind of forms on there, it seemed like you guys were a bit confused on what I was doing on there, so I just wanted to go back to the recommendation letters and keep it consistent with you guys.
What was the original amount that was, budgeted for this?
The EOPC, like what the architect
Yes.
expected to be, $3.2 million.
And that's what was budgeted?
No.
No, no. She'll help me with the financial part of it on the budget part.
So originally, before the bid opening, we had, $2.1 million, total that we had allocated to the project. After the bid opening, when it was clear that it was gonna fall short of that, we were able to request some more money from the state. And so from the governor's fund, we were able to receive another $505,000. So the total money that we currently have for this project is $2,612,966. 2.6.
So, I guess the other question is, with the leftover 306,000, what are we allowed to do?
Well, it won't be left over because the 2.3 million does not include taxes. So we're talking, I mean, we have a very good margin. We are living on the edge in terms of if we find unknown conditions that are gonna require something else.
Is this all grant money, everything?
So there are 4 legislative allocations, $450,000 in local money and $505,250 from the governor's fund,
Where's the 450 coming out of, what fund?
general fund.
It's coming out of fund 11?
Yes.
Is it just a match for all the bids or all the grants?
Yes, so when we, went to the legislative session, this past one, we went with an ask of, we basically, at that point, based on the EOPC, thought we were gonna need 1.1 million to finish it. So we went in with that ask, and we received feedback from the legislature that they wanted to see some local money in there. And so we had pledged $400,000 when we put that application on there. And then the additional 50,000 came when we saw the bid and saw that we needed to, just give us a little bit, like I said, it's a razor sharp margin, but give us a little bit more of a cushion.
I just wanted to comment, I know that, we have a couple of them coming up, but I saw that 9 and 10 were part of that too on this agenda, is that correct? The 505?
That is
and
correct.
the 695.
Yes, that is correct. So the 600, so when we went and we requested the entire amount from, the legislature, the legislators that were working with us, one of them had 350,000, so they put that in. And then 3 legislatures combined together to use the additional funding that they had left to come up with the 695,000. So you all had already approved the $350,000 as part of the ICIP. So, the 2 that you voted on the consent agenda, the 505,000 is what came from the governor's office, and the 695 was a new contract that was the 3 legislatures going together. So, that was something that hadn't been voted on previously.
I just have one other question, Justin, on, when are they projecting to start that project?
So, if it gets worse tonight, I'm projected to start sometime at the end of February. Just depends on also on how fast I can get the paperwork done with the contractor. Because of course I can't talk to them until it's approved, awarded, so from there I'll be able to get more of an answer on that part. But they have 6 months to finish the job.
Okay. You know, like I said, I was trying to look at the actual numbers. Do you know if they have any kind of plans to like reseed in there where they're cutting?
Yes, there is some reseeding in there. And, yeah. Even though it's a lump sum, in the bidding itself, it says the entire irrigation system and anything that's in the plans or specs.
Okay.
And in the plans and specs, it does show that part, so. We probably won't be seeing for the whole entire golf course, but where they're at, yeah.
Any more questions?
Good.
Do you have any info on this contractor?
Yes, so after I looked at their website, I had Jeff from Payne. I told him who it was, he looked it up and was actually pretty impressed. They actually do a lot of golf courses around the whole country. A lot of the big golf tournaments that they do around the country, they do a lot of those.
They just did Las Lunas as well.
Los Alamos, yeah, so they just did Los Alamos, and I do believe I think they got that done in less than 2 months.
So they got the qualifications.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Their bread and butter is strictly golf courses, basically, so.
I'm excited to get this started. I don't even golf, and I'm excited to get this started because I get so many phone calls about it. Does anybody else have any more questions? No?
That is all 18 months, correct?
Yes, and the driving range. And they're supposed to do 3 holes at a time. And once they continue, then we'll proceed on scheduling based on how fast they get each 3 holes done, so. And they will be starting on back 9 first.
I did a presentation at Rotary the other day, so I already knew all this, so it's not like I'm not engaged, but
You didn't invite me.
I'm sorry. I was asked at the very last minute. You should have seen me scrambling. But anyway.
Let's make a motion to approve Public Works bid 2024-012.
Okay, for item 7, I have a motion from Commissioner Reardon. Do I have a second? A second from Mayor Pro Tem McDonald. Can we put up the vote, please? Are you ready? Okay.
I don't have the vote on my screen, Rachel.
Click that e-vote
I can't get there.
in the left-hand corner, next to agenda, it says e-vote with a check mark. Top left.
What is your vote, Commissioner Burnett?
My opinion just disappeared.
Okay. And motion passes 6-0. And I see some smiles in the audience. Perfect, alrighty. We will have a green golf course. We will have a green golf course. Okay. All right, moving on. Okay, so item 11 is, I don't know his name. I don't know, that's what I'm trying to find out. So item 11,
Mr. Stephen
is there
Eisler,
a property owner here tonight?
I don't see him here.
No? Okay, so we just need to move on then, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Property owner is not here for item 11, so we're gonna move on to item 12.
I don't blame him, it's boring in here.
Item 12, under unfinished business, consider and act upon ordinance 1707 for first publication of a map amendment. And Stella,
Almost 2 videos.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners. Yes, I am back with this item. Can I get the slideshow? There it is. So I am sure you all remember, I brought this item in front of you back September 24th of 2024. So the property owner is requesting that, requests a map amendment to change the zoning of the property known as 1701 Cuba Avenue from R1 Single Family Dwelling District, to R3 Two Family Dwelling District. The applicants, the owners are Terrence and Christina Macon. The representative is Mr. Anthony Macon. I don't know if he's here this evening. So here is the zoning area. What is in green is actually another, that's the apartment complex that is right around the corner from the proposed property we're looking at this evening. This is just my protest area, my 200-foot protest area where mailings went out. A few pictures. So what we're looking at is currently a garage workshop. So this view here is it's on a corner lot. So anyway, so what I'm showing you there, you see the garage door, that is the little area, and it's a total of 628 square foot. So currently there is this bathroom. It just consists of a sink and toilet. If this zoning is approved, he plans on extending that and adding a shower. Just to give you a view, on the left-hand side is the shop area where he already has electric, water, and gas running to it. He has a refrigerator in there, it's counter space. It's just basically used as a workshop. The picture on the right is the garage area. So if the zoning is approved, they will look at converting that and making that the bedroom of this little apartment. I just threw in all sorts of pictures in here just to try and give you an idea. I know at the last meeting there were questions about the garage door, what's going to happen with that. Well, that garage door is going to remain because the main entrance to this little area is actually on the north side. So you go through, for this area, you can park at this carport or you can park on the other side of the building as you see this one car here. And then you have entrances going around to the north side of the building, and that's where the main door is located. I just threw in the electrical panel right there at that little shop. So, I did put together a little report just to give you a little more information. So I'll go through that. So the applicant has submitted an application to rezone the property located at 1701 Cuba Avenue from R1 Single Family Dwelling District to R3 Two Family Dwelling District. The property owner intends to convert the garage/workshop into a one-bedroom rental. The bedroom space will be located within the garage portion of the building, and the garage door will not be replaced since the entry to the building is on the north side. There is currently a restroom that has a toilet and a sink. Once again, if the request is approved, the property owner intends to enlarge the restroom space and add a shower. There is currently electricity, gas, and water available to the garage/workshop, and a mini split system serves as the heat and air conditioning for this area. There is one electric meter, one water meter, and one gas meter servicing both the main house and the shop. Currently, the main home on the property is a rental and is occupied. The rear yard will be a shared space between the tenants occupying both spaces. So, just to go over my findings of fact, I mentioned most of this. The application was filed back in August 14th of 2024. The legal notice was published in the Alamogordo Daily News. 34 letters were mailed by certified return receipt mail to all property owners of record within the 200-foot radius, excluding the public right-of-way of the property for which the zoning request is, or the rezoning is sought. As of January 7, 2025, there have been 2 letters, and this was way back right after I sent those letters, returned undeliverable, and no letters of opposition have been received. 2 phone calls were received back then requesting further information, but they had no opposition. Again, the case was brought before the commission on September 24th, 2024, and by a vote of 7-0, it was tabled, and staff was directed to bring it back at a later date with a little more information regarding the current state of the proposed converted garage.
So I think we tabled this to find out if he had permitted it, correct?
You wanted a little bit more information as far as permits. I have no record of any permits. I couldn't find any, for construction, there weren't any in our system. I looked in CID system and I didn't find any for the electrical or plumbing. So, but like I said, I don't know if the representative is here. No. So I can't answer. I didn't find proof of any permits.
Sounds like they're gonna permit additional work.
If they're gonna do the additional work, that was my conversation with them, they are going to have to pull the proper permits, and CID may make them, do some extra work there for the permits that possibly were not pulled. I have had that conversation with the representative, and I explained that if I saw that permits were not being pulled and work was being done, then I'd come back in front of you and ask you all to rescind the rezoning, to ensure that we do this correctly and get those permits.
Hey, Stella?
Yes, sir.
In this bathroom, is there actually a toilet in there, or is it just a vanity?
No, there is, and I should have put a picture, but to the right of that vanity, there is a toilet. Yeah, and that's,
Someone had to put plumbing in there.
yes, I looked in, like I said, plumbing, electric.
It could have been there 30 years ago, That place has been like that.
I don't know. I was hoping that the representative would be here this evening. I asked him to be here to answer those questions that I cannot.
Yeah, I believe that's the reason we had tabled it.
I'm sorry?
I said, I believe that's the reason we had
Yeah.
tabled it, was for the permitting aspect of it.
Well, now it's on the radar, so obviously.
Yeah.
It'll be a little more difficult to do this work without a permit since you know
Correct.
about it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Not that difficult with
Don't say that.
Don't say that in front of me.
my garage is almost the exact same way. Got a bathroom, everything in it.
You didn't do that.
If I remember right, there was
I didn't do it, but somebody did.
a little old man lived in that house for a long time. I grew up right there in that area. And when he passed away, then it changed hands finally. It used to have bushes and trees all around it. It was real ugly and overgrown. And, it was probably 25 years ago he passed away. They probably did a lot of that work.
And it's actually a really nice little area in the shared backyard that both tenants will be sharing. It's nice, it's set up really nice and comfortable and.
Well, and I think in fairness, people don't realize what you have to have a permit for either.
Right.
So, you know, I think that's our job, well, not our job, but that's the city's job, that's really our job, to educate them on that.
Right, and I always tell everyone, just pick up the phone, call my department and ask, you know, if permits are required, or I'm planning on doing this. What do I need to do from this point, and then, you know, we can.
Yeah, we had a situation where I didn't know my husband didn't know you needed a permit to put in installation, had no clue. So we pulled the permit, CID was super nice about it, we pulled the permit, everything was fine, but you know, sometimes you just don't know. I mean, we didn't do anything structurally, we just took down some drywall, so, but who knew, right?
Right, just
And so
goes
now
to
we
show
know.
that we can make the mayor a permit.
Yeah, well, and I do now, but I had no idea. You know, sometimes you just don't know. Now, I would think installing a toilet or a sink or.
Just
I
things
would-
like that you don't.
I wouldn't think, I mean, I could understand the plumbing side of it, but if the
Right.
plumbing was already there and you were just, I wouldn't think you'd need to do that. So, and, do I think we're over-regulated? Yeah, I do, actually, I think sometimes we are.
Easier to ask for forgiveness than just to ask permission. I'm gonna make a motion, we approve the ordinance 1706.
Integrity counts.
I almost 18 years here, and I forgot the whole time, and that's truly what folks
You
believe.
just play dumb.
All right, oh gosh, time for me to quit hearing.
And then you end up with a whole subdivision that never got permitted and nobody even knew the darn thing was there until sewage was leaking out in the streets. Anyway,
I've got a motion on the table.
a motion
Approve
to,
ordinance 1707.
yes, a motion from Commissioner Reardon. Do I have a second?
Thank you.
A second from Mayor Pro Tem McDonald. Can you put up the votes, please?
Mine's aye. Kick me out.
What's your vote?
Aye.
Are you back? My motion passes 6-0. Okay, we're headed to the finish line. Under new business, item 13, consider and act upon resolution 2025-02 declaring that a vacancy exists on the city commission for District 1. Do you want to sort of explain the process to us, Rachel?
I sure will. So this resolution is to declare the vacancy of the District 1 position. Where the resolution must be adopted by the commission within 15 days of the vacancy. So the commission will appoint the eligible candidate at the last meeting of February 25th, because it's 30 days after the adoption of the resolution. If the commission does not appoint on the February 25th meeting, then the mayor will solely appoint on March 11th. The person appointed shall fill the position until the next regular local election. That will be this November, where they will fill it all the way until December, where they can run, or, and then whoever does get elected at that regular local election will finish the next until Commissioner Paul's term would have been up. So the candidates must live in the District 1. And with the following, the deadline to give documents to me is February 14th. That's the letter of interest, the declaration of candidacy, the disclosure form, and their voter registration affidavit, which they can get with the county clerk's office. I do have packets, I do have them, they can pick them up at my office, or, they will be on the website under the commission page tomorrow. And I do have, a couple of packets with me if somebody came and they're interested in, running for District 1. And I do like to meet with the candidates, when they come and pick them up, drop them off to me, just so I can go over some more information with them and give them my contact information. And with that, is there any questions? And I do have them, when they'll come before the commission, they will come to speak, just to talk about their, the interest that they have in filling the position. And I will have them by the way they submitted their complete forms to me, and then I have declared that they are eligible for the, to be appointed.
Anybody have any questions?
Make a motion to approve resolution 2025-02.
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Reardon, do I have a second?
Second.
A second from Commissioner Burnett, sorry about that, can we put up the vote, please?
Aye.
Yes. Thank you.
What happened?
Okay, yeah.
I was kidding, that would be a good packet, I couldn't bring it back. Okay, technical difficulties, gotta love it. Okay, motion passes 6-0. And our final item, item 14, consider and act upon first publication of ordinance 1698 to remove listed parking overnight and landing fees from chapter 4 of the Code of Ordinances. Troy, how are you, sir?
Not too bad.
Been a minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do I have slides attached to this? No, they were submitted. There. All right. Good evening. My name is Troy Orr. I am the airport manager here at Alamogordo White Sands Regional Airport. I'd like to thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, commission members. I'd also like to thank the Airport Advisory Board members. They assisted with the drafting of this presentation. They gave us a lot of good input and assistance just in kind of putting everything together to hopefully put a bit better of a product together than our last attempt back in May of last year. Our objective here is to publish an amendment to Chapter 4 of the Code of Ordinances, specifically to remove listed parking, overnight, and landing fees. We're doing this for a couple of reasons. The Code of Ordinances is established law and is legally actionable, and we are currently in violation of our own laws. There are a few fees that are listed in the ordinance that we don't typically act upon, that we don't claim from our tenants, from our airport users, which puts us in violation of our own ordinance. Secondly, our rates and fees are all over the place, and they are not visible to the public. They're not, which means our transparency is effectively non-existent. The intent with doing this is to eventually publish a rates and fees document with the approval of the commission that we can make freely available to the public. This rate and fees document can be reviewed on an annual basis by the Airport Advisory Board, by the city manager who has overall management of the airport, and then it can be approved by the commission on an annual basis. And then finally, that brings us into line with other city departments. Very few rates and fees are published elsewhere within the ordinance, and I will remind everyone that we recently did that with Public Works just within the past year. Here are our recommended changes to the ordinance. The strike-through text is recommended
the
removal,
opposite of highlight
and the
'em.
highlighted text is recommended changes. Specifically, this is, all of these fall under chapter 4, 06060, paragraph A. We want that to read: the following rates and fees will be published
Not
on a
legible.
rates and fees document and shall be reviewed annually for approval by resolution by the city commission. I also want to add a sub-paragraph: rates and fees will be reviewed by the airport manager and the airport advisory board and shall be reviewed by the city manager prior to final approval by the city commission. Paragraph B, it just cleans up some language to specify monthly parking rates, monthly parking fees. Same with paragraph C, is just cleaning up some language and removing all of those specified rates at the end. Paragraph D, we are cleaning up the language of the paragraph and removing the specified user fees for commercial operators. There will be no changes to paragraphs E, F, G, H. Paragraph I, once again, we're just cleaning up some language and removing the application fee specified in the paragraph. And then paragraph J, the same. All we're doing is removing the specified fee. The intent of all of this is to publish a rates and fees document where all of those said fees and rates will be consolidated into a single document. I did not provide a sample to avoid any confusion that we ran into last time. But once this gets approved, we will immediately start to work with the advisory board to figure out what that rate and fees document will look like. We'll get it approved through Stephanie, the acting city manager, and then we will bring that forward to the commission so that you can review it yourself for final approval. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
Where are we at on the rates?
Right now, there are no changes. The intent is to cross that bridge once we get to it functionally. There haven't been any discussions about rate changes or fees or anything like that.
Why do we pull all the rates out of here when we don't have anything to replace them with?
So that is at the recommendation of the city attorney and the city clerk. If we publish them simultaneously, it could cause some legal issues. It's better, by their recommendation, it is better to remove the old language first and then enter new language.
So technically, until we pass a rate or a fee schedule, then we can't legally charge them because it's not published, because we just pulled it out.
They're not being charged right now, but we are, if they start working on this immediately, the idea is to have it at the second reading, to have a resolution fee sheet for that, not for the leases, just for fees.
It's almost exactly like what we had a few months ago, minus the rate sheet.
It is, but at that meeting, there was some discussion with the advisory board, and now the advisory board is now working with us on it. Lance is here, and our new airport advisory member is here as well. So that the issue last time was there was maybe a little conflict between the community, the board, and the city. Now we're all on the same page.
One of the big concerns the last time we presented this was that the city would at some point try and slide changes to the fee schedules on the table, with it being just requiring a resolution to pass, which is why I did change some of that legal or some of that wording in the ordinance to include the Airport Advisory Board, the city manager, as well as the commission, so that anybody who reads the ordinance should understand that it's not going to be, anytime fees are discussed, it's not going to just happen. And we're certainly not going to try to do it in a clandestine fashion. I've also put together a standard operating practice document that the Airport Advisory Board has already looked at, just sort of outlining our intent for changing fees and moving forward in the future. To your question, Commissioner Reardon, the problem is right now is that the only fees that we are discussing, we don't really collect anyway. Right now, we don't collect parking fees. We don't collect landing fees, except in very limited circumstances, specifically with the U.S. Forestry Service being the only example. We don't collect overnight fees, but these are all fees that the city might want to utilize at some point, and it would be best to have them in a document approved by resolution. At least that is our belief at the airport, our belief at the Airport Advisory Board. Once again, the important thing is this rate and fees document that we are going to propose can be easily published. It can be right there. We can put it on our website, and it can be accessed by anybody in the public. Currently, if you want to know what the next year's rental fee is for per square foot, you have to come to my office because I have the document for that, completely separate from anything else. If you want to talk about gas flowage rates, those are in a different document. So the intent is to collect all of those into one place and make them more transparent for the public.
Makes perfect sense, actually.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners, Acting City Manager Hernandez, Veronica Ortega, Community Services Director. So a lot of these fees that were in this ordinance, it was very outdated. You're looking at us chasing down somebody who's parking for maybe $3-4, and they're putting fuel in, jet fuel for $4,000, and we're getting 4% off of those fees. So do we want to clean this up? Do we want to make somebody mad chasing them down for $4 for a parking fee when we're putting that much jet fuel? So a lot of this, there was no rhyme or reason to it. Troy's done a wonderful job to clean it up. And this is the right way to do it. He's already started with several samples from different airports that are charging rates and fees that we will put those together and work with the Airport Advisory Board to come to an agreement that we'll bring to the City Commission, again, for the approval of the City Manager. Any questions?
Any questions? No? Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. That was good information. And I'm glad to see everybody's working together. We all need to play in the sandbox together, honestly. All right. Do I have a motion to approve item 14? I have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem McDonald. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second from Commissioner Robinson. Can we put up the vote, please? And motion passes 6-0. And with that, do I have a motion to adjourn? If we have nothing else, right? No? Okay. Motion for Mayor Pro Tem McDonald to adjourn. Do I have a second? Second. Second. Okay, you see that down there? Hit it. Yep. We are adjourned. Thank you. Everybody wants to hit the gavel, right?
Mayor, who seconded the motion?
What is the difference?
Commissioner Robinson. Oh, Kathleen. I'm sorry, Commissioner Kathleen. I'm sorry. Sorry about that, Rachel. It was Commissioner Kathleen.
I don't know what to do.
Excuse me, sir. Right beside you, sorry.
Good job, Troy.
Thank you. Pardon me, sorry.
Thank you guys for staying so late over.
I would love it too, if I could get him further, greater.
Is it your old set?
No, he was using my old.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Thank y'all so much.
Go. 400.
Yeah, right.
All right, we'll see you guys.
I wonder if there's a way that I can cut that portion where she was not pleased with Grisham coming to visit, so I can send it to, yeah, what I'm trying to say is I would like to send a portion of this video to Grisham.
You have a good night, man.
You do the same.
You too.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's a good spot to end it.